This is from Cointelegraph. Fear of angry people drove Bankman-Fried to open withdrawals for Bahamians. The former FTX CEO has explained why the exchange only reopened withdrawals for Bahamian citizens shortly before filing bankruptcy. Basically said the reason, quote, the reason I did it was critical to the exchange being able to have a future because that's where I am right now. And you do not want to be in a country with a lot of angry people in it. And you do not want your company to be incorporated in a country with a lot of angry people in it. This is crazy.
Wow, dude.
This guy's got to be a patsy. You know, he's so out of his depth here.
There are people that think that he was like, it was a front machine to funnel money into Ukraine.
What
and
better
stuff
way
like that.
than to have a tweaker that's like in his 20s? You know, it's like, hey, let's put him in front of everything. Let's make him the fall guy here. And I think there's also a lot of mystery about where a lot of his money came from, because the company just kind of came out of nowhere, and then they got promoted by everyone, especially in the corporate media. A lot of people are speculating that, and this is what I speculated, I think like 2 weeks ago on my own members area, specifically that the intelligence agencies took money, probably maybe even from the whole Epstein saga, and just funneled it into this larger PSYOP, which some people are saying could be a false flag in order to bring in more regulations and control of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin.
So if people were investing money in FTX was giving it to Alameda was donating it. That's a way for someone to technically donate the money, but funneling it through an exchange and then pretending like they
in
lost
partnership with the Ukrainian bank.
So wait, FTX was?
Yes, and the World Economic Forum.
Here's what we don't know. So the gist of the story is FTX takes in a bunch of money, loans it to Alameda. Alameda makes investments with it. Who did they invest with? The chain of the chain of currency doesn't stop right there. Mm-hmm. So I have to wonder if whatever was really going on, there's a third party out there that got away with everything. Put it this way: $1 billion goes into FTX. Let me stop. Let's separate them for legal purposes. $1 billion goes to Company X. Company X loans $500 million to Company Y. Company Y then invests $10 million in 50 companies. One of those companies is her good friend who says, "Don't worry, when it all blows over, I got your back." And now that company is just, we just invested in this technology. We have nothing to do with anything. And that's their investment's written down to zero. Sorry. Oh, geez, it's gone. And no one's asking questions about where the money actually went beyond that. It's like Alameda. Okay, where else did it go?
Well, a lot of it got hacked and went off the network. FTX, the day, hacked. In
Ian,
quotes.
when you say you got to,
so they think it was an insider, but the day the news broke, all of a sudden there's a hack in the network. All the money goes to zero, and all these people's accounts, and 300 million or 400 million just leaves the web, leaves the network. No one knows where, according to the news.
I like it says in the article, it's like he was hot on the hacker's trail. It's like, just before it happened. It's I don't know exactly who it was because they shut off all access to systems when I was halfway through exploring it. I've narrowed it down to 8 people. I don't know which one it was, but I have a pretty decent sense, he says.
Sounds like an insider. Yeah. Like if someone has access to the security systems of the network.
Nuts.
And then now Sam is saying that he has $100,000 left in his bank account, which to me indicates he's got money that's not in his bank account. Otherwise, he would have said to his name.
Right.
Yeah, he put in it's in a shoebox under his mattress.
Well,
he's got crypto wallets with. I mean, I don't want to start making claims.
They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on real estate. Not so they have a lot of money in assets as well.
It sounds like Jurassic Park, Yeah. The dude gets mad and then takes the eggs, but then the whole park collapses. It's like, oh no.
Instead of dinos, it's a bunch of tweaking 26-year-old crypto nerds
that are just doing unspeakable things to each other.
Like eating birds and who knows.
Is that what they were doing?
Well, that's what dinosaurs do. I don't know.
I think dinosaurs were birds.
Yeah. Feathers, I hear.
They were vegan.
Yes.
That's the worst news of them all.
What?
The Sam Bankman-Fried was vegan.
Oh.
That explains it.
I thought you meant dinosaurs. I was like, wait a minute.
No, Sam Bankman-Fried.
You got a problem with vegans?
No, I think
don't get me started.
B deficiency.
One of the things was like the drugs he was taking, like that MSAM drug. Apparently, has like if you're eating a lot of like meat, it has like interactions that could cause you to die. And seriously, that's why I watched some guy like more plates, more dates, did a whole breakdown on the drugs that he was taking.
What's it called? MSAM.
MSAM. Yeah.
How many drugs was he on?
I don't know the actual number, but.
But what did the video say? What else was in that video? Like, was there like SSRIs? Was there like psychotics? Was there uppers, downers? What were we talking about?
It's mainly
here?
Uppers and things that like the drug he was taking that they're referring to is called MSAM, and it's a drug that basically tricks your dopamine system to like enjoy doing boring behavior or boring tasks. It makes you like it or enjoy it.
So like weaponized Adderall.
Yeah, I guess you could say something like that. I don't know.
Makes sense.
His girlfriend Caroline Ellison, who is the CEO of Alameda, was saying that she has less. I believe I've heard this. This is all secondhand or third hand or whatever, but that she has no respect for people that won't take drugs when they work because they just aren't up to. They're not up to speed.
I saw that. She said something about amphetamines.
Yeah,
like people don't see the world the same way or something like that.
Crazy. Just what a drug-addled way to talk.
It
It's
makes
so
you
nuts.
appreciate how dumb a lot of normal, non-medicated people are.
Wow.
she says.
And like, if you find out how many people are medicated, how many people are just popping Adderall, you'd be shocked. I mean, it's all around us. Like, even I won't say who, but there's some guests here that were just like on it. And I mean, look at what Jordan Peterson. He was on a whole bunch of drugs, recommending a whole bunch of drugs, and then we saw how that kind of story played out for everyone. And I think he's not the same person. I think he's a different person. I think he's been damaged by Big Pharma, something that he's been recommending for people throughout his entire career that he became a victim of now, which I hope he sees as a redemption arc and helps spread the knowledge and information so more people don't get hurt like he did.
Michaela's been pissed lately. I saw a video. She's just for something's been going on. She's outraged about what Jordan has been going, what he went through, and I don't know if there's new evidence or news about it, but I heard her talking about it.
It's a crazy time, man.
Yeah.
You know what we need? I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine you walk in your kitchen in the morning. There's a fresh pot of coffee. There's some bacon on a plate and some pancakes. There's a nice family. They're sitting down for a wholesome breakfast. Dad's reading the newspaper. Just this calm, serene image of this like photograph of the American golden age. Because now our culture is fractured. Everybody hates each other for every other reason. Maybe social media is the problem. But I just think about that. That's what I was saying about, Trump's speech when he was announcing he was running. Make America great again. Come back to the point where we care about our families, we felt secure in our homes, and we cared about our communities. Because right now, we don't feel safe. People in New York, are getting pushed in front of trains like crazy. San Francisco is going to put explosives on robots. Everybody's screaming at each other and hate each other for every other reason. And it's just like, man, it's all just like.
Yeah, I went back to Ohio last weekend to hang out with my family at my parents' house. It's really refreshing. And I sit on the back porch and I'm looking out at the cemetery beyond our backyard and thinking like, in my whole life, I never was worried that someone was going to come up here with a gun and shoot me in my parents' back porch. And I'll get these waves of that now. It's just like, because it's disgusting. Maybe it's social media. Maybe it's the high radiation coming off these screens. I don't know.
There's a video out in New York. There's a cop just walking down the street and a guy walks up to him and just executes him.
I saw that too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we got to figure something out. This story about man, I don't know how you restore accountability.
Well,
you got to build culture.
Armed. People should be armed.
Okay. Well, yes.
Well, we have a broken system that is built on breaking people. Like, people are destroyed. People are, medicating themselves, drugging themselves where they don't even consciously exist in our human in our human life. So I think, the problem is not just with diet, but with mental health, physical health, spiritual health. I think all of it is at an all-time low, and there's a lot of seething, very powerful people sucking off of that and built a system that they empower themselves because of that suffering. And this is why I think a lot of the suffering is deliberate, and I think because it's profitable. And how else can you argue it? Because
keep people medicated, happy, and consuming. That's all that they
short-term dopamine pleasures of things that don't actually matter and don't mean nothing.
Planned obsolescence, just consumer capitalism, where they want you to buy something that falls apart. They want you to stay depressed so that you're constantly looking outside of yourself for a solution.
Yeah.
Go the TV or the drug or the sugar or the shirt or I can go on and on. The video
these
game.
Authoritarian utopian worldviews that some people have. What they don't understand is that if you have a unified culture, you don't need an iron fist. If people are working towards common goals and common interests, if they believe and respect similar things, then you don't need to go and lock someone to force them. China wouldn't need to do the things they're doing. The problem is, for whatever it is, everywhere, the cohesion is breaking down. It's breaking apart. The glue that holds societies together is dissolving.
One of the things Ye said when he came on the show a few days ago, before the show, was like, how do I win a presidential election? I wasn't in the room. You guys were talking about it, and you were like, I don't know, ballot harvest.
Well, at first I said something like, I'm not the guy for that. And then he said, you ignored my question. And then I was like, ballot harvesting.
So, but what I
There you go.
What I really think we need is is a shared vision, a belief in reality. Like we need something to live for, to believe in, and that's like space elevators and graphene. Like we need to excite people about the future that we can all come together and believe in. And then you're not going to be worried that your neighbor's coming over to steal your chicken, because we both have a shared future. So
you have the fake version of it, like North Korea, where no one really feels like they're working together. They're being forced to, and they hate it. But they do have some kind of cultural cohesion, but at the barrel of a gun. I feel like the United States, if you go back a long time, people assume that we had it. Like when I say like, oh, you're in the kitchen and there's breakfast and everything, but there was always some kind of conflict. It's just worse now for whatever reason. And I'm not saying it's going to get worse. I'm actually feeling like with Elon buying Twitter, we could be moving towards something better. And I'll say this: it may be that the cohesion is there, but the narrative is that it's not. For example, Elon did this poll about reinstating Donald Trump. And then it was like, 52% to 48%.
Yeah.
And he said it was interesting to see the bots attack. Then he does another poll. Should I reinstate and grant amnesty? And then it's 72%. Now, hold on there a minute. How is it that you have this major swing in opinion? Could it be that all the leftists left because he brought Trump back? Or could it be that bots were manipulating public opinion to make it seem like everyone supported the bunk? And then then Elon did that Trump poll as a test.
Yeah.
Caught the bots, found their IPs, removed them, did another poll as a test, cleaned it up.
Yeah, he actually replied to like someone saying that, and then like I forgot exactly the reply, but like essentially to your point that like that was a honey pot to find the bots. And the thing is, like you said, the narrative isn't there. So to your point too about the poll for free speech, 72% of users support reinstating accounts. But there's this narrative out there for advertisers that they're scared to advertise on the platform because of hate and disinformation. So it isn't the people that are afraid of all of this stuff and freedom of speech, because user growth is going up. People are using the platform more and signing up more. So that should excite advertisers. It's the media and everyone else who are trying to derail this whole thing, trying to drive the narrative, but they're clearly losing the narrative. And again, they have not reckoned with the force like Elon before.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Everything that's been going on Twitter has been exciting. It's fun. This is like one of the best weeks. I gotta say, like, despite all the weird stuff, what y'all need to understand is, as crazy as Monday was, this is like one of the best weeks that I think we've ever had, just across the board. For one, we had Thanksgiving. I hope everybody got to have a good time. Then we have this ridiculous show that's all crazy. Everybody's losing it. But watching the stuff with Elon, election interference, releasing the Twitter files, I'm like, man, it's been a good week.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. How are you enjoying being on Twitter? How has been the experience of being in Twitter in jail for so long changed you? And how is this new Twitter affecting you?
It's just like a stimulation overload. I describe it because so I was actually out celebrating. I was out at my brother's band actually when Donald Trump got reinstated. So right after, I was having a bunch of the House Freedom Caucus members texting me saying that they're replying to Elon, telling them to reinstate myself. 20 minutes later, I was reinstated after those tweets were sent. So it was like an hour after Trump was reinstated. I was the first account after Trump to be reinstated. And so like all of that at once hitting me. And then like a couple days later, Elon replying to me. And it's just been like absolutely insane, and it's hard to process it.
When you came back on Twitter, did you have how long ago were you suspended?
Like 2.5 years. It was April 2020.
Did you have notifications and like messages from back then?
I have a screenshot or like a screen record of my phone was like, I could not use it because of the amount of notifications. Wow. And I also got this welcome back banner from Twitter.
That's nice.
It was super. I'm like, this is a new Twitter that I'm experiencing. But my phone was unusable for like phone calls and I was trying to shut like the notifications off so I can use it. But I'm getting texts, calls. Charlie Kirk shouted me out right away. Benny shouted me out. Jack, like all of these people were shouting me out. So so I got suspended with 85,000 followers. I now have like 200K. So I gained like almost double what I had in one night. So it was like melting my phone.
You said you didn't know what caused it, but what was the ban? Like, what was the situation around when the suspension happened?
So originally, I posted this meme that they had. So Joe Biden's campaign put up this thing where you'd post your picture and say Alex stands with Joe Biden, and it would be you next to the Joe Biden logo. So I turned it into a meme, and I said Xi Jinping stands with Joe Biden. So Mike Cernovich quoted it back then, and he said, watch the media spin this into like manipulated media, because that was a popular thing at the time. Dan Scavino had just got hit with like a video that was out of context, supposedly. So like at 20 minutes after that, my account was suspended. So like I put two and two together. I'm like, I just posted this. I just saw like his, hypothesis of what it could be a violation. And I assumed that was it. So they came out and said that was not the reason, and that it was for platform manipulation and spam, without going into further details.
And you still have no details?
Yes. So I would do like the regular appeals process, and I'd get back different details. And like I was saying earlier, so on the day I was reinstated, I actually got one back that said I was in violation of hateful conduct and targeted harassment, which I've never engaged in. So they would just spit back these random reasons. And originally Twitter, they said, we'll show you the piece of content that you, like, violated and which rule it violated. Like back in 2015 when it was one sheet of rules and not a whole page of links. So yeah, I don't know the exact violation. They have refused to tell me. It's funny, back when it happened, so a friend at the White House reached out to Twitter, apparently trying to get answers, and a friend at the FCC also did. They said, the quote from the guy at the FCC is, the White House already reached out on this and they're pushing back. They're adamant that you're not going to be let back on the platform. Higher ups are. That was from the VP of comms at the time.
At the FCC?
At Twitter. VP of comms to the guy at the FCC.
And then now what are you doing with your newfound fame and wealth?
I've been enjoying it. I mean, it's only been, I think it's like 9 days now. I mean, this week's been absolutely insane. So it's hard to control like the days and everything, but it's been insane.
What advice do you have for people that have experienced what you experienced?
So I've been actually trying to help get people replatformed. I know it's all at once right now with everyone being mass amnesty and everything. I've actually helped, I believe, get a few people back on, Sven Hernandez and Marjorie Taylor Greene. So I was encouraging people, because this is the way I got reinstated, is replying to Elon's recent tweets with like a hashtag, bring them back. And then also like the exact username. Like a lot of the mistakes people are making is like, bring back XYZ, and they're like just putting their name. Elon Musk doesn't know who those people are. People at Twitter don't know who those people are. You have to tag their username. So reply to Elon Musk or people in his circle to get the attention. But I think there's probably going to be more guidance next week, because this week they're going to be rolling out like Blue Verified and everything, so their focus is on that. But there's going to be more guidance as to like what smaller accounts need to be, if they have to reapply for an appeal, or how to actually get it back. But right now, I think that's the best way, is replying.
I need to point something out for everybody listening. YouTube was having problems earlier today. Mm-hmm. It was down for some people, and people are noticing that the frame rate dropped to like 5 frames per second, super slow. Mm-hmm. And
were we talking about the CIA?
That's happened before, isn't it? It's like, this is what I want to point out. There have been instances where Luke went more than one. Luke will go off on, say, like the CIA, and then people watching will see the video just freeze and like the loading thing, and then it comes back and Luke's not talking. We're talking about something else.
Oh my gosh.
There's been a bunch of stuff like that that has happened before, and maybe it's just nonsense. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
There's no way to know.
But
for us.
I'm seeing in our live monitor something obviously happening.
Yeah.
People are obviously talking about it. Our tech people are on it. I can actually see something. It doesn't look like it's on our end, but I'm not entirely sure.
No,
well, the views also dropped off. There was about like 40.
No, but it's been on the fritz. It's been going crazy. It was at like 53, then it dropped down to like 4. And I'm like, well, this is
now
weird.
It's at like 40,000.
YouTube's busted.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.